Well, I'm a mystery to everybody. Not many believe I exist. Well, I'm alive and free, as real as can be, roaming through the forest mist. Yeah, for many a year in the canyons you'll hear my songs that many call screams. I stay as far as I can, hidden away from man, living off the forest and drinking from streams.
Myth, legend, mystery, all words often used to describe the large and hairy human-like creature known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. But here, at the Bigfoot Discovery Museum in Felton, California, a different word is used to describe Bigfoot: reality. As Michael Rugg, co-founder and curator of the museum, will tell you, researching Bigfoot is a legitimate and important field of study, and Rugg has dedicated his life to proving Bigfoot's existence to mainstream science and to the general public. Why? Well, I'll let him answer that question.
I had a flashback memory of spotting a Bigfoot when I was about 5 years old. For many years I denied my own memory because, like so many other people, I'm told it doesn't exist, that's wrong. Someone described in 1950 on the Eel River seeing a Bigfoot that had some clothing. And the one I saw had what was the remnants of a shirt hanging off of one shoulder. And that was the same year and the same river. And, and that's what sparked my memory. For years I figured that was just a bogus thing, that I had made that up in my head out of wishful thinking. It took quite a while for me to get over that denial and get to the place where I could accept the fact that that's probably exactly what happened. So it was sort of on the back burner all through my life, because I couldn't shake it. And what it boils down to is there's a little voice inside my head said, now is the time. And so for the past 5 years I've been a full-time Bigfoot guy. That's when we announced our project and started our website in April of 2004, and then opened our doors here in 2004. In July. Our hope was that we would create enough interest here with the museum, with memberships and subscriptions and the sale of art and crafts and Bigfoot souvenirs and all that somehow that would add up to enough to cover the costs of doing business, and then we could then have the time to also do the research. Initially I thought the research here was going to be mostly online. And then I was absolutely blown away by the number of people who were coming in the door and reporting Bigfoot sightings right here in our backyard. And we're talking about witnesses that include deputy sheriffs, forest rangers, firefighters, and wildlife biologists, people who are trained and have years and years of outdoor experience, who have come across these things in the wild. We have a lot of sightings here that can't be debunked and that have circumstantial evidence indicating that a large bipedal primate is the most likely candidate for the particular activity that's taking place. We established this map of sightings. It's broken up by sightings versus vocalizations and other sort of circumstantial reports. What we're doing here is we're testing the subset. This is the way I look at it. We have a subset of the entire phenomena occurring right here in the Santa Cruz area. And we feel like we have a viable subject area here to prove, by finding some actual physical evidence to back up all the anecdotes, that there are Bigfoot in Santa Cruz County.
What physical evidence are they looking for? Currently, much of the Bigfoot evidence that has been discovered has been in the form of footprints or handprints that are casted for later examination through dermatoglyphics, or fingerprint analysis. However, researchers have also found what they believe to be Bigfoot hair samples as well, which are genetically analyzed in an attempt to identify Bigfoot DNA through comparison to other species.
There are other researchers who have gathered over the years quite a number of hair samples from different parts of this country and other countries that are obviously more primate than anything else and will match nothing else on record, but tend to match each other. And the dermatoglyphic studies from a lot of these casts that have been taken in a substrate that maintains enough integrity to hang on to that kind of detail have shown that there's friction skin there. All primates have friction skin on their hands and feet that cause these little whorls, ridges. And dermoglyphics are a very major way of identifying certain ape species. Of course, they use fingerprints to identify people. I don't know how much closer you can get with a species that doesn't have a type specimen yet. In other words, the holotype, the type specimen, is going to be the corpse of one of these things. In laboratories, they're going to establish the reality and get them to sign off that this is real. And it's probably going to take more than one.
But until then, beyond footprint casts and hair samples, the most important and also most well-known evidence for Bigfoot is the Patterson-Gimlin film, recorded by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin in the Six Rivers National Forest in 1967. This film is accepted by the Bigfoot researching community as the most compelling piece of Bigfoot evidence in existence. And despite numerous attempts from skeptics, the Patterson film has never been debunked as a hoax, and in fact, recent investigation of the film has only strengthened its authenticity.
Somebody took the trouble to photograph every frame of the film, magnify it up close so you could see more detail. And then they've reanimated that, cleaned it up, taken away some of the blur, taken away some of the overexposure. Most of the complaints that people have made over the years are gone now. They've all been answered using computer enhancement and modern computer technology, working with the film. That's the beauty of the Patterson film. It was shot on film. So when you zoom in on it, even though it gets grainy, because of the graininess of the film, you get more detail. And there's plenty of detail there.
For example, notice the detail in this zoomed-in still from the film. You can make out what appears to be thigh muscles on the Bigfoot's leg, an immense amount of intricacy that likely could not have been created for a man-made Bigfoot costume in 1967, when the best in ape costume construction looked like this, for the film Planet of the Apes, released the following year. As the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization points out, large amounts of money have been spent trying to make a matching costume. The best Hollywood costume design talents have been brought to the task, but have never succeeded. The BBC spent the most money so far, and they failed miserably, clearly shown by these side-by-side results. Thinking critically about the Patterson film, it is important to ask the following questions. Where is the costume now? If the costume is gone, why can't an identical copy be made? And why has nobody who has claimed to have worn the costume been able to prove it? Despite these unanswered questions about the film, and despite the accompanying physical evidence such as the footprint casts made here and at other numerous locations, people are still reluctant to believe in Bigfoot. Why?
Because some people are just so dead set in it. They don't want to accept that because it's become a belief system. And people have belief systems built up around this that want to keep denying the evidence. They're so convinced that it's a guy in a monkey suit that when they see a film of one, they can't accept their own eyes of the viewing of the film. And so they don't talk to the eyewitnesses, and they don't read the work of the people who do the real study.
People such as Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a biological anthropologist whose book Sasquatch, Legend Meets Science, quote, brings a much-needed level of scientific analysis to the Sasquatch or Bigfoot debate. And who is it that is quoted here? None other than Dr. Jane Goodall, the world-renowned primatologist. So what does she have to say on the subject of Bigfoot?
She was interviewed on National Public Radio on the Ira Plato show, and Jane Goodall says,
Now, you'll be amazed when I tell you that I'm sure that they exist.
You are?
Yeah. I've talked to so many Native Americans who've all described the same sounds, 2 who've seen them. I've probably got about, 30 books that have come from different parts of the world, from China, from all over the place. And there was a little tiny snippet in the newspaper just last week which says that British scientists have found what they believe to be a Yeti hair, and that the scientists in the Natural History Museum in London couldn't identify it as any known animal.
The giant panda was a myth. The gorilla was a legend. The duck-billed platypus was a hoax. This is the history of science. Okay? So there's nothing different going on now. It's just that this thing is so close to home, it's so human-like, that it's a lot harder for the establishment to get a handle on it. It would make it quite clear that our anthropologists don't know everything, and that they don't know nearly as much as they claim they do. And that would hold true for a lot of science. And that's why I think the Bigfoot thing is important. And yet, I see this attitude amongst the scientific authority that puts down people that want to study this. And so they explain it away and say it doesn't exist. And I think they're doing a great disservice to science in general when they do that. And people like myself are tired of this. So I've watched 50 years of other people trying to prove it, and they haven't succeeded yet. So I decided it's time for me to do it.
So Michael Rugg and the other members of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum, including Ralph Jack, their head investigator, are doing just that. They regularly conduct field research and participate in Bigfoot searches around the Santa Cruz area. Using their map of reported sightings as a reference point, they set out during the day to scout locations where Bigfoot has been seen or heard, and to look for potential Bigfoot footprints to make a cast for later analysis. And at night, armed with high-tech sound recording devices and night vision cameras, they set out to find Bigfoot, searching for eyeshine coming through the trees, or planting the sound devices to record Bigfoot screams off in the distance. Though they haven't yet captured Bigfoot on film, it took Patterson and Gimlin 10 years of looking before they accomplished this feat. And since Rugg and the others have only been at it for 5, there is still time.
I'll run through the forest, I don't wear no boot, 'cause I'm the living legend they call Bigfoot. Ain't taking my time, I don't need no watch, 'cause I'm the timeless creature that they call Sasquatch. Hey!